This is Jorge Herrera, and I want to share with you my thoughts. I decided to do this streaming, and I'm calling it Election Year. Should you vote, and who should you vote for? What candidate? So let me tell you about how I have voted, how I think that I should participate in the political process. So I lean Republican because it's still acceptable to think as a Republican. To think as a Democrat, I find it very difficult, and I will explain why. So in 20, um, actually, I voted for George W. Bush, and I really felt very bad after I learned that it was a fraud, that there was not weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. It was just the narrative to get us into a war with a country that was really not creating any problems for us. Certain people in the United States, including the family of the president, just wanted to to take control of the oil in Iraq, or to take control of the situation in Iraq to benefit from oil. So that's how I think. I might be wrong, but that's how I think. You can put any comments about that. So that's what happened with George W. Bush. I found out that it was a farce, and I really felt very bad about having voted for him. Now then came 2016. In 2016, I I had a situation where I didn't know what to do because I didn't like the candidates. The candidates were um, Donald Trump and Hillary. So to me at that point, I was thinking, well, I should vote for the lesser of two evils. And I couldn't vote for Hillary because what I know about Hillary is not acceptable. She was a very ruthless Secretary of State that after Benghazi, after the death of the ambassador and some special forces that were protecting the embassy, she said, very cynical, "What difference does it make? They are already dead." Yeah, they are already dead, but they were not your family, Hillary. So that was really bad. And learning all these things that she did, like having that server at home and then destroying it, destroying evidence with a hammer, or well, whatever the method would be, that was really wrong, and she didn't pay for any of that. Um, Also, the situation in Haiti. They went to Haiti after the earthquake, and they just took advantage of it. They didn't go there to help anybody. They went there, the Clintons, they went there just to help themselves. So that's why I voted for Donald Trump. because I didn't see any way possible I could vote for Hillary Clinton. Now, what happened with Donald Trump? He actually did a good job in his presidency. We have good years. We have a good growing economy. We didn't have any wars. So that he did good as president. But they were already um, framing him for what we know is happening today. Now, came 2020, and this time I decided to vote for Donald Trump. Why? Because of all the conspiracies and all the things that the Democrats and the deep state did to frame him. So that's why I decided to vote for him. And if you have investigated, just not listening to what the TV and the news companies told you, there were many irregularities in the election. So many people, including me, think that the election was framed, that the person that is in the White House right now is not really an elected president. It was done because of the irregularities that happened in that election. So now we are coming to the election this year in November 5th, and we will have early voting. I think it's October 20th to November 1st, something like that. So, who are you going to vote for? Are you going to vote for the Democrats? Well, then you're going to have more of what we're having. What are we having? We're having a president that cannot put a sentence, a president that reads the script that he's handled, including the instructions like pause and look to this side or look to that side. So he reads that stuff. Why? Because he's not, his brain is not in the best shape. Now, what about his policies? We have an invasion in our southern border. Whoever argues that we need immigration, they cannot say that that is immigration. That is an invasion. The war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is being promoted by the Democrats and many rhinos Republicans, that they just want to profit from that war. And they don't care if a single Ukrainian of age to fight will still be alive when that war ends. They just want to benefit their party, their pockets, and the arms, the arms and weapons industry. Those are the ones that really profit from that. So that's why I don't know why you would vote Democrat. What is happening with our children? That they've been totally confused, that they don't even know um, where they are. And if they are young enough that they at one time thought that they could be the other gender, um, many of us, I think I had those thoughts when I was very young. That that I don't know. Maybe I wanted to find out what would happen if I was a girl. But those were thoughts that they are temporal. We probably think those things, but they end. So that's what happened with our children today. They are not allowed to to be confused. If they are confused, then they get indoctrinated and they get pushed that they have to go with their confusion. They get put in medical treatments to encourage their confusion, and that's wrong because we've seen many cases of people that went through those transitions that once they actually came to their senses, they totally regret that. And they already have a miserable life. So all that is coming to our children besides the communist indoctrination. Socialism, communism only works in paper. None of the reality situations turn okay. Uh, China has killed too many people with communism because socialism is just a temporal state to go into communism. In Venezuela, they have killed a lot of people. In Vietnam, or whatever were the killing fields, Cambodia. In Cambodia, they killed thousands of people. Um, in in Germany, because of their policies, looking for control of the state, which is part of communism, that you could call it totalitarianism. They killed too many people. I mean, millions. So in Russia, they have killed millions of people with communism. In East Germany, they killed millions of people with communism. So communism only works in paper and starts with socialism. So that's the easiest step. But socialism immediately turns into communism, and it's bad. It kills too many people. So there's nothing better than capitalism, because capitalism gives you a chance, if you work hard, to define your life. Socialism, you cannot define your life in socialism. You just become one more in the chain, and is controlled by the government, established by that socialist state, by that communism, and they are the ones that have a good life. But the rest of the population, they have a miserable life. In capitalism, government have a good, always government has a good life. But in capitalism, people can go from a low level to a high level of life because there is freedom to do that. Now, in the United States, I really don't think we enjoy capitalism. I read a book from, I think it was Jason Matera, um, a periodist, but I don't know if that word is in English. Um, I don't know why I struggle with that word. A news person, an investigator. He wrote a book. The book that I read, the name is Capitalism, and that's what I think we have in the United States. We don't have capitalism. We have capitalism because the influential companies, they get close to the government and they dictate possible policy. So they eliminate competition because they get close to government and promote a lot of regulations that the little guy has a very hard time complying with. But the big companies, they have the money to comply with those regulations. So that's how they can eliminate competition. So that's why I believe we have capitalism in this country. Anyway, I veer a little bit away from the point, but we are in a critical time for elections to try to still have a country. Because if we continue with the policies of this administration that has weaponized the Department of Justice, we won't have a country for too long. So we need to think how we're going to vote. And based on what Donald Trump has gone through, I think he deserves a chance. He deserves a vote because he's been tried. He's been judged in New York and Atlanta. Why hasn't he been put on trial in Florida, in South Dakota, in Montana, in Texas? Why he hasn't been put in trial there? Because he really hasn't committed a crime. Those crimes that he are judging him in New York and Atlanta, they have been fabricated because New York and Atlanta are very liberal cities, very leftist cities, and they control the Department of Justice and they control the judges. So that's why he's been judged there. That's why he is in trial there. And what did Donald Trump make that is so bad that they want to put him in prison for 720 years? What has he done that it is so bad? But at the same time, we had the Summit of Love in 2021, where with BLM and Antifa, there were all kind of chaos and murders and destruction. And none of those were put in trial. And now, with this administration, we had January 6th. January 6th was a protest against many irregularities in the election. And the candidate, Donald Trump, he he asked people to go to the Capitol to protest, but he said it peacefully. And what happened, we still don't know, but many things has come up that it was probably orchestrated by the FBI, by the police that created the the, the incitement to violence. So, and those people, some of them, they just walk into the Capitol, and because they were there that day, and some didn't even walk into the Capitol, but they've been put in prison. How come the people that destroy property and kill people in the summer of love, nothing happened to them? That's double standard. So that's why I'm telling you that we have to be careful how we use our vote. And if you're going to vote Democrat, I really have a hard time understanding you, because we need to keep our country. Our country is being destroyed. We have an invasion in our southern border. And many of the uh, policies of this administration have been taken to destroy this country. So think how you're going to vote. And I hope we have a fair election in November 5th. So thank you for taking a look at this stream, and put your comments. I mean, I'm okay if you say that I'm an idiot, that I don't know what I think I know, that I'm just a follower of Donald Trump, and that I took some Kool-Aid, and that's why I don't think straight, and I take everything that he says. Well, I wish he were a little more careful on how he talks, but that's his personality, and I don't care about his personality. I care about the policies that he wants to put in if he becomes the president, because I believe he loves this country, because he was a millionaire. What need he had to get involved with all this mess? And still, he could still say, "Hey, I give up. You guys, you guys keep your country. I'm just gonna get whatever money I still have left, and I'm just gonna finish living whatever years I have left, enjoying them." So I don't understand why, after he's going what he's going through, I mean, after he has gone what he's going through, why he still fights to try to help us keep this country. Thus, I mean, if you have an argument against that, put it on your comments, on the comments. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.